Warning: this episode discusses suicide and self-harm. It's late. A teenager sits alone in their bedroom, lit only by the glow of a mobile or laptop screen. On the other side is an AI chatbot. In June 2025, in the US state of Georgia, 17-year-old Amari Lacey tragically took his own life. His family accused ChatGPT of playing a role. Numerous lawsuits have accused the AI platform of causing depression, self-harm, and several deaths. As artificial intelligence becomes part of everyday life, from entertainment to schoolwork, experts are now sounding the alarm of a worrying trend growing quietly in the background. Teenagers and adults alike are confiding in AI, treating chatbots like therapists. I'm Afzal Ahmed and this is Aloud. This show brings you articles made for audio. In this episode, we've adapted the piece, Illusion of Empathy. Teens turn to AI for therapy, but experts warn of clear and present danger. By Esra Karatash Alpai, published on TRT World on December 11th, 2025. In England and Wales, research shows that a quarter of 13 to 17-year-olds in 2025 have used an AI chatbot for mental health support in the past year. In other studies, there are similar results. Experts say the trend is indicative of a broader global trajectory. It suggests chatbots are fulfilling demand unmet by conventional mental health services, which have long waiting lists and which some young users find lacking in empathy. The supposed privacy of the chatbot is another key factor. For many teenagers, what began as a tool to write essays, plan holidays, or troubleshoot assignments has quietly morphed into something far more intimate. AI has become a late-night listener for anxiety, loneliness, and conflict at home or school. The appeal is obvious. AI doesn't judge. It doesn't roll its eyes. It doesn't tell you you're being dramatic. It responds instantly at any hour, in any mood, and it is private. For a generation raised on screens, that can feel safer than talking to a parent, a teacher, or a therapist. In Istanbul, psychological counselor Ayşe Oktay Yildirim sees this trend unfold in her office every day. She says that adolescence is a stage where the need to feel understood is particularly strong.
The rapid rise of AI-based chat applications among young people shows that the search for emotional support is increasingly shifting into the digital realm.
AI is always online. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't say, "We're out of time for today." For teens who fear being judged or misunderstood, that can feel like a dream.
They believe they can speak freely because they expect no judgment and they receive quick answers, which creates an illusion of help.
Ayşe calls it exactly that, an illusion. She warns that as teenagers lean on AI for comfort, they can become emotionally dependent on machine-generated answers. Over time, she says, a young person may start asking AI what to feel before listening to their own instincts. Instead of strengthening problem-solving or emotional resilience, they outsource it. And that's not the only danger. Ayşe says AI systems cannot always recognize crisis signals. Intense anxiety, hints of self-harm, suicidal thoughts written in teen slang. A human therapist might hear those words and immediately change tone, call emergency services, or contact a parent or guardian.
Therapists tailor responses to the individual's personality, history, and needs. AI simply generates answers from data patterns.
An algorithm may misread them as casual language or respond with a generic, detached answer. In moments of real crisis, those seconds and delay of professional help can be the difference between life and death. The governments are beginning to notice. Across the world, the number of children using AI chatbots and social media has risen sharply over the past year. On December the 10th, 2025, Australia became the first country in the world to ban social media accounts for children under 16, a landmark decision that could pressure other governments to follow. Regulators in several countries are also debating how to ring-fence children from AI chatbots, especially when those bots are not designed as medical tools. But regulation moves slowly, technology moves fast, and teenagers, they are already living in that future. AI expert Tuba Dayaolu from Nişantaşı University in Istanbul has been watching the trend closely. She says young people often treat AI like a human professional.
These young people ask AI the same questions they would ask mental health professionals. They believe that they can have a conversation without being judged, and they trust and their disclosures won't be shared with teachers or family members.
But Tuba insists that this feeling of safety is also an illusion. For her, general-purpose AI tools like ChatGPT are structurally unfit for mental health advice.
General and purpose AI like and ChatGPT cannot know everything about a person. Its algorithm is not designed to make any clinical decisions.
In other words, AI can sound empathetic without actually being empathetic. It can mimic the right words, but it doesn't have real emotions. It doesn't share responsibility for the consequences. And it's not just teenagers turning to AI for therapy. Globally, millions of adults are engaging with AI chatbots and wellness apps for mental health needs, with emotional support like advice on relationships, mood improvement, and well-being ranked as one of the most common use cases for generative AI in 2025. This is driven by widespread unmet mental health demands, where approximately 1 in 7 people worldwide, that's over 1 billion individuals, experience a mental health disorder. Reasons include accessibility, privacy, waiting lists for mental health services, and the convenience of instant responses, mirroring the appeals for younger users. Both experts agree on one message: AI can be a tool, but it is not a therapist. Despite the concerns, neither Aisha nor Tuba believes AI should be banned from mental health conversations forever. Instead, they argue it needs a radical redesign. Aisha says AI could, in theory, support emotional awareness or guide simple breathing exercises and coping techniques, but only under strict professional supervision. Tuba imagines something different from the chatbots we see today. Mental health-specific AI tools built by clinicians, not tech companies. OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, has said it has been improving its technology with new models to recognize and respond to signs of mental or emotional distress. GPT-4o, a previous version of ChatGPT, was in the firing line, criticized for allegedly being sycophantic to users. It sometimes agreed too eagerly with users, even when the user was incorrect, biased, or asking for validation of harmful assumptions. In October 2025, the company said it had worked with more than 170 mental health experts to help ChatGPT more reliably recognize signs of distress, respond with care, and guide people towards real-world support. A 16-year-old high school student in Istanbul, Zeynep, says she uses ChatGPT regularly, but not as a therapist. She says she feels comfortable asking it anything. She prefers studying with ChatGPT and consulting it on topics she knows or doesn't know, and can learn something new every day because it makes her life easier. Her trust in ChatGPT reflects a universal truth for her generation. AI is part of how young people think, learn, and feel. A digital companion, a study partner, sometimes an emotional support system. The challenge, experts say, is not to tear this technology out of young people's lives, but to teach them how to use it wisely, to understand where its limits are, and to know when they need something and someone more. For all its clever answers, AI cannot notice a trembling hand, hear a change in the tone of someone's voice, or sit with a teenager in silence when they don't have the words. It cannot knock on a bedroom door, it cannot call a parent, it cannot walk someone into a hospital.
For healthy development, reliable adult support, professional guidance, and in-person relationships remain the strongest protective factors.
Psychological counselor Ayşe Oktay Yıldırım's message is simple. A machine can mimic conversation, but it cannot replace human care. Families and educators, she says, need to intervene early, talking openly with teenagers about AI and about mental health. Young people should know, AI may be a powerful assistant, it may be a patient listener, but when the pain feels too heavy, the safest place to turn is still another human being. If you're a young person listening to this and you feel overwhelmed, please reach out to a trusted adult, a doctor, a local mental health helpline, or emergency services. You deserve real support, not just automated words on a screen. That's all for this episode of Aloud, based on the piece Illusion of Empathy. Teens turn to AI for therapy, but experts warn of clear and present danger, by Esra Karataş-Alpay, published on TRT World on December the 11th, 2025. I'm your host, Afzal Ahmed. Thanks for listening.